171 then for the Gujarat Titans after they were put in to bat by the capital. Shubman Gill with an impressive 84, but would the Titans be the happier side at half-time? We saw Rajasthan get in excess of 200 in the opening game at the MCA Stadium in Pune. We'll find out who the happier team is with Wasim, Jaffer and Ben Cutting on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by IQ 95G. Wasim, 171, happier team at half-time?
I think it's about just about par score. They would have liked probably 180 from the kind of start or the kind of momentum they had in the middle overs. But I think they'll take it. They've got three really gun bowlers like Loki, Shami, and Rashid. It's about Hardik, how he uses himself, Tewatia and Varun Aaron. That is going to be very, very key.
Ben, first thoughts from you. 171. You take that if you're the Capitals?
Yeah, definitely. First off the bat, I'm happy with that. I was listening to Shubman's interview at the end of the game. He said the wicket was slow early on, a little bit stoppy. So it'll be interesting to see if it's like that in the second innings.
Shubman Gill, you saw from close quarters last season at KKR. He didn't quite have the prolific season that you think he's capable of, but he did end up with a couple of half centuries. Is this the most fluent you've seen him?
Definitely. He just looked really clear tonight in his plans and where he was going to hit the ball and how he was going to play certain bowlers. And that can go a long way towards stringing those bigger innings together. Get from your 20s and 30s and turn him into 60s, 70s and 80s like he did today.
Yeah, I like that phrase, Wasim. Clear plans against certain bowlers. Kuldeep Yadav, whose confidence is sky high, I think, at the moment, starts at the wicket. Shubman seemed to play him particularly well.
I think, yeah, he played him really, really well. And anything that pitched up to him, I think he went straight. He chose the right option. And, very happy to see him do well. I think he's got in him to play all three formats. So he just need to develop his power game a little bit. But he's somebody who can play all three formats. And I think this IPL holds a lot more importance to him because he's not in a white ball frame in selectors' radar at the moment. So this IPL, 500, 600 runs in this IPL will bring him into the contention.
Today, though, didn't seem like he was lacking power. 6 fours, 4 sixes, strike rate of 182. What did you put that down to? Is just timing or the surface, or why did it look like he was a more powerful player today than he usually is?
No, I think the wicket. I think he played according to the wicket. I think then after that, once the wicket settled down a little bit, I think it came onto his bat, and he likes pace on the ball. And there wasn't much spin, and he was hitting it through the line. And he's a class batter anyway. He's not somebody who's scared of hitting the ball in the air. We've seen that in the Test cricket as well. He's taken on bowlers. It's just about the power game in the right, in the death over that he needs to develop. I think he's a very fine player and somebody I feel who can play all three formats.
I wonder if we'll get a fairer reflection of this score once the second innings is done, Ben. But it was odd. Shubman Gill, strike rate of 180, and no one else in the top 5 really got going. Can you make sense of it?
No, that's right. Look, it would have been a very different total had Shubman not got the runs he did. The little partnership between him and Hardik sort of got them up to where they were. But I'm not sure if the wicket is as good, as it might have looked, or he made it look. He's obviously had a good day and he's in pretty good nick. But it'd be, like you said, it'd be a very interesting second innings with a new ball to see if it moves around and see how difficult it is to score.
Now, if you look at the bowlers for the Delhi Capitals, Mustafizur Rahman, no rustiness there, Ben. Normally an overseas player, we say first game of the season. I think you've had enough time with Mustafizur Rahman. I think he was part of the Sunrisers team, wasn't he, in the successful year or there and thereabouts. Seems to be the old fist today, not the one that struggled in the last couple of years.
That's right. I think he's been coming back from a few injuries the last couple of years. I know he had problems with his shoulder after we played together in 16-17 for the Sunrisers. I particularly remember in 2016 that he had that fizzing Yorker at mid-140s and he could back it up with that big looping slow ball that no one could really pick. And he's starting to get that back again now, which is good to see.
Do you sense this is a good year for Mustafizur Rahman? Suddenly with the 10 teams and the batters spread a little bit, there are more players that haven't played Mustafizur to sort of find him out?
Definitely, yeah. It's always tough. You have your first breakout year, but then you've got to bring something different the following year. And that's the same for all players in T20 or any format, to be fair. But his slow ball was his really big weapon early on. Sort of waned a little bit the last couple of years with probably playing more Test cricket as well as the shoulder surgery he had. But the conditions in Mumbai with the wearing wickets the longer the tournament goes on is really going to suit that change of pace that he has.
I mean, they're still only playing the 3 overseas. So you think when Andrik Nokia is fit, he plays. Bowler like Mustafizur Rahman, just a good day today, or do you see him being a threat going further ahead in the season, Wasim?
I think he'll be a threat. He's somebody who's got a lot of variations, and he's somebody, like Ben said, when the wickets get used up a little bit, that slow ball, that cutters are going to be very handy. So I see him playing in spite of Henry Knoke coming in.
Is 171, if you say it's a pass score, are Gujarat the kind of team that would be happier even if they get to pass scores because of Rashid Khan, Shami, Lockie Ferguson's pretty decent attack?
They'll be happy, yeah, there's no doubt about it, but they are bowling with the dew on. The conditions are not going to be in favor of the team bowling second, but they'll take it. They would be happy at 180, 185, but I think they've got three really, really good seamers. It's about handling them really nicely. Varun Aaron, for especially, they need to see where he bowls. Can they afford to finish him just like Umesh Yadav? Can they finish him off before 14th, 15th? When does Hardik bowl? If Tewatia at all bowls or not? Because last game he didn't bowl, so he can use that as well. A little bit bigger boundary, so they can get use of him as well.
Vijay Shankar at number 3, 13 of 20. Now, maybe you shouldn't be too critical after one or two innings, but is that looking like a problem?
It does. I mean, they lost only one wicket in the power play, but they still ended up with 44 runs, and that's far too many, considering the situations and the kind of start they got. They didn't lose wicket, but they didn't get too many runs as well. And Vijay Shankar is not somebody like Tilak Verma or maybe Abhinav Manohar, who's playing his first, second IPL. He's somebody who's been there. He was part of white ball cricket. For him to obviously play like that, puts you what frame of mind he is in. I think the management just need to get that instructions right, what's his role are and what kind of cricket is he going to play. He's going to play the second fiddle, or they want him to attack going into the power play.
Quick word on Hardik Pandya. We could probably go deeper into this at the end of the game, Ben, but you spent some time with a man playing a very different role at the Mumbai Indians, where he knew clearly what he's supposed to do, bat alongside Kieron Pollard, maybe Krunal, and see games through, finish them off, or go for the big surge at the end. At number 4, he's looked good, but when he attempts that big shot, gets out. Do you think he's someone who's comfortable batting at 4 as high as he is in T20?
I think he'll get there. It's only a matter of time. He's such a good player. I really think he can bat anywhere. Obviously, we saw him for a couple of years there with Mumbai, sort of finishing off the innings from 10 overs onwards, alongside his brother Krunal or Polly, like you said, where he needs to come out. He can hit 60 or 70 off 25 or 30 balls. He's a lot more measured approach batting at 4, because it's probably the toughest place to bat in a T20 team, because if you go in early, usually 2 for nothing. If you go in late, you've got to tee up from ball 1, and that's the nature of batting at number 4.
Wasim?
Yeah, I think Hardik, sometimes when I see him bat at number 4, I feel he takes up a lot of balls. He eats up a lot of balls for spinners. I mean, he's somebody who can put a lot of fear into the spinners. He can hit them down the ground. Sometimes I feel he just plays too many dot balls, off spinners especially, something that he can work on. I mean, once he settle down, he can take down those spinners, and then the game changes quickly. So that is something which I feel he can improve upon.
How hard has it been when you're pushed from 6, 7 to 4 in those situations? I'm sure you've been through that, to almost change or control your instinct, because I'm sure instinctively Hardik would love to take a spinner on. He's clearly playing a different way because he's seeing a different role for himself.
Look, I think you'll find his footing with that and work out when he can take the spinners on as he would in the past. Even batting at 4, there's always a time and a place to play a natural game, and I think the more often that he does that and plays without fear and without that measured approach, I think he's going to be more successful for it. There are going to be times where it's not going to work for him, like we see with guys like Dre Russ, Polly, who play that that hard-hitting brand of attacking cricket. But he's also going to take games away from teams very, very quickly if he does it.
All right, fair enough. I guess we'll have to see more of Hardik Pandya at 4, and I think we will, to make better sense of it. But it's a very intriguing new role that he set for himself, or that his team has set for him this season for the Titans. Prediction, Ben, how do you see this going? Rashid Khan, Ferguson, Mohammad Shami, are they good enough to defend this, or will Delhi Capitals see it home?
No, I think it's going to be a close finish. It'll really depend on how they go with the new ball in the power play. If they can swing it around and crack a few wickets early, otherwise it might go right down to the last ball, I think.
Did you give me a prediction in that? Don't think you did.
Last ball. I'm not sure who's going to win.
Shall we go super over then and split the difference?
Super over. Geez, that makes it a late night for me if it does.
Yeah, get your breakfast ready if we're in for that. Let's ask Wasim Jaffer if he's going one way or the other on this.
I would back Delhi to chase this down.
Okay, interesting. Now, top order did not quite do the job for them, but they got it done. Courtesy the likes of Akshar Patel and Lalit Yadav. Let's see if they're called in. You think this could be a close one. So we'll pick up the chat at the end of it all on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket Info T20 Time Out, powered by ICO 95G. See you then.